have adjusted my microphone so many times it's not even funny anymore.
Now look at me sitting here making an Inktober video halfway through the month of November. Hi, hello, and welcome to a very long video. I'm just going to be showing off all 31 of my Inktober drawings and talking about them for a little while. Yes, for anyone who knows my channel, this is really different from my other stuff, but I wanted to try something a bit new for this video. For anyone new here, I'm Doodlezz, and I mostly do gacha stuff, but I also like to do some actual drawings like these. So let's just stop my awkward rambling and get into the actual art. One last thing, if you hear a bunch of weird tapping coming from my voice in this video, it is because I am using a really old microphone from when I was like 5 years old doing voice recordings for school, so it's gonna sound really bad. So for one last little bit of context, I used the quote-unquote official Inktober prompt list for the theme, and for the character I used a random FNaF character generator online for each day. For day 1, the theme was Crystal, and the wheel gave me Chica to work with. You can clearly tell that I got carried away with the details on this first one. It gets a lot worse for the later ones. I wanted to use a lot of sharp angles and pastel colors for this one to go with the Crystal idea, and for some reason I decided to base her on a 50s housewife. I used a random picture on Google for the color palette. The crystal-y things on the tray are supposed to be like tarts, since I wanted to kind of go with the cupcake idea, but didn't want to draw sharp cupcakes, so I thought crystal tarts was a good in-between. I shaded the headpiece all little small details so subtly that you can't even really see them on the speed paint, but they are there. You know, I honestly think Chica is pretty underrated. I mean, I don't love her design in the original games, and some of the toy versions and Funtime versions look kinda weird, honestly. But I think she's alright. I don't mind Chica. But yeah, that's all I really have to say for day 1. I feel like there's a lot going on in the picture, but I don't have a ton to say about it, honestly. The theme for day 2 was Suit, and I was really excited when the wheel picked out Circus Baby for me to draw. I didn't have a lot of time that day, so I did keep it pretty simple, but I still think it looks alright. For some reason I really struggled with line art that day, so I kept redoing it, and you can kind of see me messing with it a lot, especially on the hands. I've honestly never been good at drawing bangs well, so I struggled so much with that. The eyes honestly turned out really pretty in my opinion. I think with the heavier shading around the sclera of the eye, it gives it kind of a creepy vibe, which I really like, and her whole facial expression looks great in my opinion. The background was just pulled from Five Nights at Freddy's sister location, so all credits go to Scott for that part. Alright, so day 3's theme was Vessel, and Ennard fits so well for this one, especially considering that, you know, he's literally a vessel for everyone to escape Circus Baby's rentals in FNaF 5, I guess. So I decided to use both him and Michael Afton since they both share that vessel idea. Hands are not my strong suit, so sorry that it looks kind of weird, but I really wanted to give the decaying idea to the hand, you know? So I used kind of a reddish tinge to the fingernails and tried to make the decaying patches look kind of gross, not gonna lie. I really like how the wires inside of the arm look, and the button turned out really cute in my opinion. The background and lighting are honestly a mess, but I don't hate it. Day 4 had the theme of knots, and I used Shadow Bonnie / RWQFSFASXC. Jeez, that's a mouthful. This one was kind of a lighting experiment thing, since I kept the color scheme really simple and used very different shapes than I usually do. with the kind of rough texture to them. This was sort of inspired by the Fazbear Fright story involving Toby being sort of haunted by Shadow Bonnie, and that's where I got the general body shapes and roughness from. I think the facial expression turned out pretty cool. Day 5's theme was Raven, and I used Toy Bonnie this time. I wanted this one to look a little bit ominous, since ravens are usually some sort of symbol of death. I don't really know why, but I associate ravens and crows with gold for some reason. I think the gold contrasts pretty well with the blues and blacks, so I'm not complaining about it, but yeah. The cape and the tail thing he's got on are supposed to be, wings and a tail. I wanted to give him kind of a triangle and rough silhouette to him. And the red bow and the checkers are supposed to be kind of like the original Toy Bonnie. You can see for a second in the speed paint that I was gonna give him gold buttons for eyes, kind of like Coraline. Not sure why. I decided not to do it and just to shadow out his face because it really just didn't look right and made him look kind of derpy. For the third rabbit in a row, we've got a spirit version of Bonbon. Personally, I don't really like this one all that much compared to some of the others, but people on Instagram seem to really like it, so what do I know? I took a lot of inspiration for the style from Garcello, a ghost character from a Friday Night Funkin' mod made by Rangebiner and Atsuover, so credits to them for that. And I tried to make Bonbon look sort of drippy and fluid to kind of get that spirit idea and not just Halloween ghost. And I really wanted to look as translucent as I could get him, which I don't know if I achieved, but I tried. And I wanted the red and blue colors to be pretty subtle in this one, so I just used an overlay layer for them when I was coloring. I had absolutely no idea what I was doing the entire time I did this one, but it doesn't look horrible, I guess. The prompt was fan, and the wheel decided to give me trash. And the gang. So I kinda just decided to make the gang sit there with the fan, cause I really couldn't think of a better idea that day. Someone asked me earlier why I didn't put Mr. Hugs, the vacuum, into this one, and that's really just because I have no idea how to draw a vacuum. Especially not in one day with a bunch of other trash. All hail the holy fan. Day 8 had the prompt of watch, and the wheel gave me the very vague character of technician. So I used the security girl from Security Breach. Once again, sorry for my terrible hand drawing skills. I'm doing my best. I gave her a watch with a little toy Freddy face on it, and it's pretty cute. It's kinda small. I probably should have made it a bit more noticeable, but I do like it. I think the shading looks pretty on this one, especially with the colored line art, and the lighting at the end turned out really cool, and you'll see that in a few seconds. Whoever the eye represents is kind of up to interpretation, but I kind of thought of it as a mix between Vonnie and Glitchtrap, since, it's Vonnie's red eyes with Glitchtrap's purple, makes it pink. This one's got a pretty different look to it than a lot of the other ones do. The prompt for this one was pressure, and the character I got was Mangle, and I had no idea what to do with that. I kind of came to the conclusion that Mangle showing up at 5:59 in front of your desk was a pretty stressful, pressureful situation, so I just rolled with it. I relied very heavily on the symmetry tool for this one. I did try to break it up with the eyes and make them at different levels, but everything else I used the symmetry tool for. I did more soft shading on this one than I usually do. especially on the white parts of Mangle's face. I really like how this one looks, especially with the lighting on it. Do I love or hate this one? I still don't know. But with the theme of Pick and with the character of the original Foxy, I decided to go with kind of an ironic cottagecore look to this one. You can really tell I had no idea what I was doing with the anatomy on this one, especially on the right arm. The branch on his shirt is supposed to kind of mimic the tear in the original Foxy animatronics chest, I guess. It's supposed to kind of have that general shape to it. The background is just an old picture from like a few years ago when I was in Britain for a while. This one looks absolutely insane, and I have no idea where to start in explaining it. The theme was sour, and the character is Molten Freddy, and so I kind of decided to go with this unhinged candy store look, kind of inspired by Olivia Rodrigo's album Sour that I have barely listened to, honestly. I decided to replace Molten Freddy's wires with a bunch of sour candy straps, like, you know, those rainbow belt things. Those are delicious. I love those. And the ears are those gummy key candies. You know, those ones are really good, especially when you put them on your fingers like a bunch of rings. I did that when we got some for free a while ago. Trying to put the rainbow colors on the actual rainbow gummy belts was more difficult than I expected it to be, and it's not completely even. It's sort of wonky, but it could be worse. I had a lot of fun with this one, just playing around with all the different colors and all the stuff going on, especially with the gummy teeth and the gummy worms coming out of the eye. I love how those bits look. The 3 random lemons on it were kind of just there to fill up space and to go with the sour idea and to make it look more full than it was before. Once again, the color palette is from an image on Google. This one's probably one of the most simple ones of the month. The theme was Stuck, and the character I got was Willie Mafton. So I kind of just quickly went with a very isolated little room with not much going on in it, and the shadow of Spring Bonnie after the Springlock incident. And in the background I put a bunch of tally marks to show that it's, you know, been a little while that he's stuck in this room. Look at that, me being thematic. This one had the theme of Roof and the character of Funtime Freddy, but I also added Millie from the Count the Ways Fazbear Fright story, since she's cool. I like her. I played around with the background more than I usually do on this one, and I'm still not very good at backgrounds, so it was an attempt. It's okay. And I wanted it to be like Funtime Freddy's kind of just a ghost, just annoying Millie constantly. And you can see his face kind of showing up on the roof in a subtle way. I wasn't completely sure what to do with the theme of this one, which was tick. I originally thought of something like a clock, but then I realized I'd already done watch, so I decided to go with a tick like a check mark, and with Rockstar Chica. So I did the sketch for this one on my tablet, so that's why it's not on paper for once. And I had so much fun shading this one, especially with the shirt and the pants. eye shape was inspired by Sarvante from another Friday Night Funkin' mod, the Mid-Fight Masses one. This is probably one of my favorites from the month. I just really love how the shading turned out. I did this one in 20 minutes at like 11 o'clock, so it is very sloppy, but I had Nightmare Foxy to use, and the theme was Helmet. So I just did some simple line art for this one of a sort of torn up biker's helmet. I was gonna fill it with a bunch of teeth, but then I realized it'd look kind of complicated. So I just kept the very gross looking ears and a little hook in the side. For day 16, the prompt was Compass, and the character I had was Funtime Chica. I didn't think I'd love this one nearly as much as I do, because the sketch was honestly really bad, but once I got that eye in there, the eye with the compass, it just started looking so much better, and I really leaned into the look of a paper map, and I think that really made it look a lot better. This one was really well liked on Instagram, and I can kind of see why, but while I was drawing it, I kept hating it and wanting to scrap it, but I'm glad I didn't, because it turned out pretty okay. The theme was Collide, and I used the character of Glitchtrap. So I kind of did a mix between the look he has in the Princess Quest minigame and the look he has in FNaF VR, but I used the human look to it because I didn't want to draw another animatronic. So I didn't shade this one all that heavily, and I kept the facial features pretty simple, but I had so much fun shading all the goop on the left side and trying to make it look detailed even though it's a really dark color, and I really like how that turned out. You'll see at the very end that I played around with the lighting a lot on this one, and I used a lot of weird effects. I did some overlay stuff with some green on the Glitchtrap side and used more purples on the goop side, and I tried to make the eye on the goop side look creepy and have a big contrast between the two eyes on both sides. I love this one so much, and the background isn't that good, but just trust me, it gets slightly better at the end. Yeah, I used a photo reference for this one of more of a pinky tint to the sky, and then for the puppet, who is the character I got with the prompt Moon, I used one of those moon outfits that I keep seeing all over Pinterest as a kind of reference, and it is so easy to get a lot of moon-themed clothing references. I had no idea what I was going to use. But yeah, I think she looks really cute. The sketch was really bad, so I had to do some modifying with it. I gave her, instead of the red puppet cheeks, little moon cheeks, you know, crescent moons. And for the pattern on her mesh clothes, I don't know what to call them, I just did a background with some moons and stuff and used the liquify tool to smush it around a little bit. The writing on her shorts that says give gifts is in reference to the minigame in FNaF 2 where she's, you know, giving gifts, giving life. Yeah, that sounds so cliche when I say it out loud. I kept feeling like something was off, so at the very end, I added in some clouds in the forefront. This is the one time that I reused a character. I reused the security girl, who I'm just going to refer to as Vanessa, because I already had a sketch of her and didn't really know what to do with the prompt loop, and the wheel just gave me her again, so I was like, sure, let's just do that. So yeah, I did kind of a simple loop themed thing with this one, and I used some spiral eyes that kind of call back to Glitch Trap, but not really, since Vanessa isn't Vani, from what I know. We haven't seen the game yet, so we don't really know. But yeah, I changed a lot of stuff with the arrows at the very end with this one, and I tried to use a lot of very saturated shading to give it kind of like a neon 80s look to it. I like it. We are 2/3 of the way through, and this one is really weird, so stick with me. The theme was Sprout, and the character I got was Lolbit, which the techie look of Lolbit contrasts a lot with plants, and so I kind of decided to hype that up by putting Lolbit on this stone wall with this big TV behind them, and they're just chilling there covered in plants. I don't know. I tried to use a lot of references for futuristic clothes. They all look really weird, so the outfit turned out kinda weird. And this one took me a long time. Not gonna lie, it was really time consuming. And I had to come back to it on a couple other days when I had time. But I think it turned out alright. There's some parts that I kinda wish I put more time in, but I do like it as a whole. I loved doing all the lighting stuff at the very end. That was a lot of fun to kind of have a lot of dark colors in front, but work with the backlight of the TV. And I added a lot more flowers and stuff in the background at the very end. Once again, the sketch is absolutely horrible. But yeah, for day 21, the theme was fuzzy, and I got Rockstar Freddy. So I just decided to give him this big fuzzy plush Faz coin. It felt fitting. And I did a little pom-pom on the belt at the back, which turned out so soft looking. I really like it. And the whole thing just looked really soft, and I think it's really cute. I did this at the floor on Old Navy. I love the advertising aesthetic of FNaF 6, so for this one, with the theme of open and the character of Lefty, I decided to do this, advertising sign that says that the place is open, like you'd see outside a restaurant. But I wanted it to have a lot of darker colors inside of the open sign and the bright look of the menu from FNaF 6 to kind of give it contrast, from the actual theme and ideas of the game and the look of the surface. Yeah, I think this one turned out really cute, and having the puppet be at the center turned out really nice, especially since, puppet's part of Lefty. And I struggled with the lights a little bit. I was lazy, so I just used the same one and copy-pasted it in different colors. But yeah, it turned out alright. I like this one a lot. And once again, I had no idea what I was doing. So the theme for this one was Leak, and the character I got was Balloon Boy. So yeah, like with the Bonbon one from a while ago, I tried to use a lot of drips to this one to kind of, make it leaky. Wow. And I really muted down the colors and tried to give it this dingy, gross look to it. I love how the balloon turned out. I think that the way the colors gooped down was pretty cool. And I used some filters on it that made it look kind of different. I don't even know where to start with this one, but the theme was extinct, and the character I got was Orville. So I kind of just got a list, you can see in the picture, of a bunch of extinct animals, and just tried to combine them with Orville, and for some reason he looks like an archaeologist. That wasn't the intention, but it works. And I kept the magician idea to Orville, so, the wand and the hat, and I gave him that big skull thing, and I used saber teeth, kind of like a saber-toothed tiger, and I kept the flower and just put it on his arm, in a way. Yeah, this one's weird, but it's cool, in my opinion. This one I almost completely lost motivation for, so ignore that it's really lazy. But the theme was Splat, and I got Ballora. So I just did this sort of dramatic curtain fall with some paint splattering. Yeah, I don't have much to say about this one other than that it's kind of lazy. I really like how this one turned out, especially with the colors. So the theme was Connect, and the character I got was Rockstar Bonnie. And so I kind of tried to go with this puzzle look. So you'll see in a minute that I took puzzle pieces and put them on the skin and the ears a little bit, and there's puzzle pieces in the background. So yeah, I also used a lot of more saturated colors, because when I thought of puzzles, I also thought of like a kid's thing. I know puzzles aren't for kids, but you know, I thought of more bright colors. And I really like how the eyes look, and yeah, I think this one's pretty cool. My favorite arsonist. So the theme for this one was Spark, and very fittingly, I got Henry on the wheel. That was not intentional, but it worked so well. The hand was a struggle. Just ignore how long it took me to do the hand. I kept changing it. But yeah, I've been wanting to draw Henry for a long time, but I just haven't gotten around to it. So this was a good excuse to draw him in all his fiery glory. I like drawing fire. I don't do it very much, but I do like drawing it. I gave Henry's eyes this kind of like wavy look to the sides to make it look, you know, more emotional, because FNaF 6 is a bit emotional and sort of sad. Or at least yeah, I don't know what to say. I did the glasses last because I knew they wouldn't look right on the face if I did them immediately. And I love how this one looks so much. French fries. The theme was crispy, and the wheel gave me Biddy Bab. I had no idea what I was doing, so I just made a rip-off McDonald's with the Biddy Bab colors. And made French fries. This one's so stupid. It's so stupid, but I actually kind of like it. I didn't think I'd be able to draw fries, so that's new. And at the bottom I used the colors of both Biddy Bab eyes as just dots on it, and the background is supposed to look kind of advertisey, like you'd see in a McDonald's ad or something. With the theme Patch and the character Elizabeth, I did this kind of ragdoll looking monstrosity, for lack of a better word. I tried to make her look kind of like a Lala Loopsy in a way. You know, I had a lot of those when I was younger. I kept her hands and feet very blocky and simple, and her feet are very large. And I gave her patches in the dress and used more muted colors. And yeah, I think the hair looks kind of awkward. But I got the idea across, so I don't mind it. I finally used the button eye idea that I rejected for the Raven prompt, so those are finally back, and I really like how the pink patches look on the skin. I really like Happy Frog. I've heard a lot of people say that they hate her, but she's adorable. So yeah, for the second last day, the prompt was Slither, and I got Happy Frog, so I thought, hey, reptiles, fun, we get to use a lot of green. So I gave her kind of a frog aesthetic, because she's a frog, and I just put a snake coming out of her bucket hat. I could have probably leaned heavier into the prompt, but she looks cute, so I'm not gonna complain. I think the ponytail looks really nice on her, and I love the smiley faces on the jeans. For some reason I struggled with the hand a lot. I don't know what was wrong. I usually do peace signs just fine, but whatever. And finally, we're at the last day of Inktober. The theme was Risk, and the character I had was Toy Freddy, so our favorite gamer bear. I went with a simple black and white look for this one, with just some color on the sides to give it more of a, tense gamer moment. You can clearly tell I don't play that many games. I gave him a pretty simple outfit because I just kind of picture him in a basement playing, I don't know, Fortnite at 2 in the morning. What do people play? I don't know. I kind of like how the mouse turned out, and the hand looks a little bit funny. So yeah, this is the last of the 31 drawings, so the end of my Inktober stuff. Yay! It was definitely worth it to do the full challenge, but it got very difficult and very time consuming from time to time. It wasn't stressful or anything, and I think I learned a lot in the month. I never really drew with a lineless style before, but I'm kind of trying to work on that. Yeah, not really sure what else to say, but if you're considering doing Inktober next year, I'd say do it. I'll probably do it again. It was a lot of fun to do. Recording this has been kind of difficult since I don't usually record my voice, but hey, it's good for me to do. Yeah. If you've actually stuck around for this entire half-hour long video, then thank you so much. I know you're probably bored out of your mind or you stopped listening halfway through, but that's okay. I appreciate you here. I hope everyone who's watching this has an amazing day. Drink some water, it's good for you. And I'm gonna go. Bye!